In this week's parsha, we have the Shira Sayam, the song that Bnei Yisrael sang when they crossed the Yam Suf and saw the incredible miracles, the Nisim, the downfall of the Mitzrim, and they're free at last. And they sang the song that we say every single day in our Psukim and Zimra. And there's a discussion amongst the Achronim where the Shira begins. There's also a discussion where it ends, but today we'll discuss where it begins. What's the first word of the Shira? We say, Az Yashir Moshe V'nei Yisrael Sashira Azos. Then the Jewish people sang, or will sing, this song. And this is what they said, Ashir El Hashem Ki Goga. We sing a song to Hashem, who's so exalted. So the simple explanation of the psukim is that the first word is Ashir El Hashem. I will sing a song. That first part, Az Yashir Moshe V'nei Yisrael, is just like the intro. Then they went and they decided to go ahead and sing the song. What did they sing? Lay more. What did they sing? Okay, here's the song. Ashir El Hashem Ki Goga. That's the beginning. That's the beginning of the song. The Brisker Rav in the Haggadah Beis Levi. The Brisker Rav writes that if you look at the Masechah Sofrim and you look at the Rambam, you see it's not true. Because there's a halacha of how, if you look at a Sefer Torah, whoever has the opportunity this Shabbos to get an aliyah, or at least to peek in, so you'll see that the words of Az Yashir are written in a block form. You have a few words, space, few words, on top of that, space, block, space. It looks like it's a building. And it has to be written that way. So the question is, where do you start writing in that format? So the Masechah Sofrim writes, and it's quoted in Halacha by the Rambam, that you started from the words Az Yashir Moshe V'nei Yisrael. Meaning the beginning of this format of writing it in the Sefer's Torah starts from what we call the intro line of Az Yashir Moshe V'nei Yisrael. So you see that the first line is part of the Shira. In addition, the Brisker Rav brings another proof from a Medrash, that the Medrash says that Moshe Rabbeinu earlier had complained to Hashem. Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, go, you have a mission, go speak to Paro and tell him that we want to serve God. We want to get out. And it didn't really work out. The second Moshe Rabbeinu went and did that, Paro just made the subjugation even worse. No longer you're going to get the bricks. You have to make your own bricks. It only got worse and worse and worse. And Moshe complained to Hashem. And the pasuk said, Moshe said, "Ume'az bati el Paro." From the time me'az, from then that I went to Paro, like you said, God, lidaber b'shmecha, to speak in your name, heira la'amazeh. It only got worse for our people. So the Medrash says that when Moshe Rabbeinu started the Shira by saying Az Yashir Moshe, he was coming to make a tikkun. He was coming to fix that Az that he said the first time when he complained and he said Me'az bati el Paro, from the time that it came to Paro and things just got worse and worse and worse. Now he's going to fix that by saying Az Yashir Moshe. The question is, what does that mean? It's like, I said Az once, now we say Az again. And why is that part of the Shira? Why is that part of the song that Moshe Rabbeinu was singing? So it's an absolutely incredible Beis Halevi in this week's parsha. I highly encourage everyone to learn through the whole thing. The Beis Halevi explains as follows. He says that when a person has difficulties, he goes through hardships, and then he's saved. So he says thank you to whoever saved him. But there are two ways that you could experience the thank you, the hakaras hatov, the gratitude. One is, thank you for taking me out of the bad situation that I was in. I'm happy. Thank you for taking me out. That person that is experiencing that, the level of his happiness is the exact amount of happiness that he had before he even got into the problem. Right? Life was good. Then he entered into a bad business deal. So life went down. It was pretty bad. And then somehow he got out of the deal and he's back to where he was before. So the level of simcha that the person has is basically where he was beforehand. He's happy now that he's out of the bad, back to where he was before. That's one level. A different type of simcha that a person could have is if he recognizes that he was part of the Yeshua to come about. He was part of the salvation. He was a pawn that Hashem was using to go ahead and bring out the fireworks. I thought that I was down and out. I thought that I was in a bad spot. I thought that like my life is over. And then I realized that Hashem put me there so that when He takes me out, it's just going to be like a boom, a greater Kiddush Hashem, a greater manifestation of God's name in the world. The world's going to be even better. So Hashem put me into that spot, which I thought was terrible. He put me in there so that when I come out, it's only even better than it was before. I was a vehicle, I was a kli, a chayfetz, an object in the story that ended up coming into a much bigger level of a Kiddush Hashem. That level of simcha that a person has afterwards is way beyond. It's so much bigger because you feel good. Like, wow, Hashem used me, picked me. He used me to make a big part in the story. That's amazing. Says the Beis HaLevi, says that's what the Medrash means, that I messed up with the word az, and I'm coming to be metakein, a tikkun, with this word az. I thought, says Moshe Rabbeinu, me'az bati el Paro, I thought that when you, Hashem, told me to go to Paro and your name, that things just got worse and worse and worse, and I complained because I saw in my tunnel vision, I saw that things are really, really bad. And then after the end of the story, I realized that, wow, we were just being used, the Jewish people are just being used to set off all the fireworks so that the entire world could appreciate the greatness of the Jewish people and the greatness of Hashem. Wow! So it was with Az Yashir, I'm now going ahead and singing a song on the bad that happened in the beginning. The Az that I'm using now is on the Az from before that I thought was so terrible. My life was falling apart and everything was just going down and down and down. Now I could sing a song that was all for a purpose. I could see why that happened, and I'm singing the song to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's why that first line is part of the Shira. Because it wasn't just singing about the future, it was singing also about the past, about the difficulties. The Maral tells us that the word shir, it's a Mishnah in the first Mishnah of the 5th parak of Masechah Shabbos, is also used as a bracelet or a collar, a round item. The Gemara says in Bamitzia, Daf Chafei, if you find a shar, you find a round thing of coins. The word shir means a circle that starts in one point and comes back to the original point. Because the idea of a song, and most Jewish songs are this way, is that when the end of the song actually can bring you right back to the beginning. That's why some Jewish songs have to fade out at the end, because it can't really end. It goes right back to the beginning. It fits the niggin. The niggin goes back to the beginning. You can sing the same song for a long period of time. The end goes back to the beginning, goes back to the beginning, etc. And that's really what it means when we sing the shira of our lives. It's connecting all the parts. It's not that, I did something when I was a sophomore in high school. It was really bad. Delete that. I'll try to forget about it. I hope I don't see my friend that I was with at that time in that place ever again. We'll just, walk to the other side of the street. Move on. That's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is that whatever happened in my life, whatever difficulties I went through, whatever downfalls, whatever challenges that I ever had, are all part of where I'm supposed to go. It's all part of my life's mission. Hashem also knew what was going on during that time and wanted me to experience that and wanted me to be there, wanted me to meet that person, wanted me to have that problem. It happened. I didn't get it. I was upset. But I don't have to delete that. I could look back at that and maybe help another person in the future. Maybe I'm much stronger now because of it. Maybe more motivated because of it. Maybe I appreciate time more because I felt like I wasted time in the past. There are different reasons, of different ways that this could express itself in the future. But when I go ahead and I have that new accomplishment and I have that new success and I want to sing a song, I don't say, despite everything that happened, here it is, I'm singing my song. Part of it was because of what happened. I'm connecting the end all the way back to the beginning. I'm able to sing a shira on my entire life. And this is a very, very important lesson, that I have to think about also for myself, but I think everyone has experiences. Everyone falls, and everyone has challenges, everyone has difficulties. And some of us, when we have those, it brings us down very, very far. It's hard for us to get out of it. And the only way we can ever get out of it is like to pretend it didn't happen, delete it, etc. But the ideal would be that as we move forward, stronger and better, and change our ways, and try to do tshuva, and try to hit higher heights, we go ahead and we say, okay, there was a reason that happened. Sometimes I'll be able to see it, sometimes I won't, but I could sing shira on that as well. And I could bring that to a whole new place and be able to appreciate and connect to Hashem in a greater way. One of the famous types of Jewish dances is what they call a machol, is the circle dancing, as they say. Everyone's holding hands and dancing together. So what's that about? Also, it's not just two individuals that are dancing together and then there's another two individuals over there and everything's separate. It's all one circle. We're all one. We're all connected. We feel one. There's no one person at the lead and there's no person in charge. It's a certain achdus that comes with the end connecting to the beginning. And the Medrash of the Gemara says in the Maseches Sanhedrin that the lashon as yashir is plural. Is in future tense. We are going to do it. What do you mean? Now, shar. We're singing now. So the Gemara says, Mikan b'tchiyas hamesim in the Torah. This is a hint in the Torah to tchiyas hamesim that in the future, at the end of days, we're going to be able to sing a shira. What's that about? Because at the end of days, we're all going to be able to appreciate that all the difficulties, all the horrible things that now that we're experiencing, that the Jewish people are experiencing, the world is experiencing, all that was for a purpose. There was a reason for it. And we're going to be able to sing that shira and to connect back to what happened beforehand, to go ahead and be able to experience that. And that's what the Gemara says in Maseches Tainis, that we're going to have a circle. The people, all the tzaddikim, are going to stand in a circle. They're all going to be equal to one another, and all going to point to Hashem in the middle. Zeh Hashem kivinu lo. This is the God. It's the same one. My God, your God. We're all the same thing. We're all one. We're all connected. The end is to the beginning. It's all one big story. Hashem echad. We have to realize that we might not know what it is about. We're looking forward to the end of days when we can understand why certain terrible things happen. But even in our own personal lives, if that ever happens, we can't let that get us down. We have to realize that there's a purpose, there's a reason for it, and we have to try to use it to fulfill our life's mission. And then, Bezrat Hashem, that as we are successful, and we are able to bring that to the table in a bigger way, we'll all be able to sing a real shira, not just a cute little song, but a real shira where we're able to connect everything, our whole life, into one, to appreciate how Hashem was part of it the entire time, and we're able to appreciate the closeness that Hashem had for us and is with us at all times, and we're able to bring that forward and bring it to the world and appreciate the fact that we are a kli, we are a chayfetz, a part of Hashem's big plan of making a Kiddush Hashem in the world. Shavua Tov.